IMSA development series that is the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama has crisscrossed the United States this season. This weekend, we've headed north on the 101 out of San Francisco, turned right to Petaluma and found ourselves at Sonoma, which is a very nice place to be. The colonial-era town square with its adobe buildings, vineyards, art galleries and Sonoma Raceway, carved out of the local hills in the late 1960s. Hello everybody, I'm John Hindhaugh from IMSA Radio, and we have a small but perfectly formed group of 18 cars. No Jeff Mosing this weekend, suffering from the back injury that he had earlier on in the season. He's decided to sit the rest of 2017 out. We're at the business end of the season now, and Jake Edson in the Platinum class has one hand on the championship. Looks very much like Corey Fergus and Trenton Estep are battling for second position in that championship. It's a different story in the gold category, as Fred Kamer, Roman De Angelis and Victor Gomez are separated by just 12 points. Two different cars this season, the brand new for 2017 Platinum class and the gold category cars for vehicles manufactured between 2014 and 2016. All Porsche 991 Cup cars, and we do have some 2014 era cars here with us this weekend, but the 27 new boys, if you will, debuting in the IMSA category. The new Gen 2 cars have the driver extraction hatch on the roof, little changes to the inside and a bit of aero, but the drivers like extra power from that newly tuned Porsche Flat 6 engine. And Jake Edson put that to good use in qualifying this weekend. Well, we're rolling on the warm-up lap using the infield configuration here at Sonoma, which means the cars turn right here and head up over the hill towards the brilliant diving left-hand carousel turn at 6, rejoining the drag strip, going back up the hill to the far end of the racetrack from where we are at turn 7, and then they head all the way back down the other side of the valley and back towards us. Yokohama tyres being warmed up, green flag coming here at Sonoma. Sonoma Raceway, California, the venue for round 14 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. And we're coming down towards a green flag start. Safety car lights are out. Let's take a quick look at the grid. It was a fabulous qualifying session that saw Jake Edson nip the pole position by just 9/1000ths of a second from Corey Fergus. They share the front row in their Kelly Moss Road and Race and More Speed Porsches. Then it's Anthony Imperato and Trenton Estep on row 2, McKay Snow and Will Hardiman on row 3, Sebastian Landy on the inside of row number 4, with the first of our gold category runners, Roman De Angelis, on the outside in position number 8 for Mark Motors Racing. Not going all the way down to the end of the track and the hairpin we used in the old ALMS days. It will be the intermediate circuit at this end of the track that we use. A little bit ragged at the back, but the front of the field looks good. Watch for the green flag before we go racing. And there is the green flag. And immediately our pole sitter steps away from the field. Jake Edson gets a great start. Corey Fergus had to be a little more defensive as they climb up towards the Earnhardt Terrace, turning through turns 2 and 3. Oh, and there's Sebastian Landy just been shepherded off the track and drops back in behind the blue car of Andrew Long there. A little bit of Sonoma dirt on his tyres. The leaders are already heading through the right-hander into the infield, and then they'll plunge down through turn 6, the carousel. Good start from Edson in the Kelly Moss Road and Race car from the front of the field, and he'll hit the drag strip first, and that really is a drag strip. Plenty of events run through the year here at Sonoma. Up to turn 7, heavy braking. The maroon and white of More Speed in second, with Will Hardiman right up his tailpipes there. Change for position further back down the field. But the action is fast and furious down through the S's, coming back towards us. Hardiman, oh, locks up, gets it wrong. Oh, and he's going to hit the wall, is he? He does not, but he's going to drop down the field. The man from Austin, Texas was going for second position, and that's left Corey Fergus on his own. Trenton Estep then getting away. Anthony Imperato now in third place with the black and gold of Trenton Estep and the JDX racing car right in there. That's the battle then for third position. Imperato on the podium yesterday. Hardiman is rolling again, but he's lost a huge amount of ground. Timed race, remember. 45 minutes on the clock when we started. And this is the best battle on the circuit at the moment. Leader dropping down into the carousel. Second, third, fourth, fifth. Estep a disappointing sixth position in the race here yesterday. Been an up and down season for Trenton Estep. Lourdes is potentially one of the championship favourites, hasn't been able to string consistent results together. Now let's look further back. Sixth position, Sebastian Landi rejoined in 7 after being off the circuit on that first lap, and he's now right in behind the blue car of Andrew Long, battling for 6th and 7th then. The Forto coffee machine coming off a double win earlier in the season at VIR, and he pulls off a perfect manoeuvre there. That puts him back into the top 6. Be disappointed with that. And there's a change for position further up the field as Trenton Estep goes up into third position ahead of Imperato in the mainly white Porsche. I love the sound of a flat 6 in the morning. Estep, third, but a distant third in the platinum standings, but battling with Corey Fergus, I think, for the vice champions position. I don't really think they can catch the leader, Jake Edson. Problem out on the circuit there, and that's a very slow Porsche indeed, grinding to a halt just after the Earnhardt Terrace. Meantime, the leaders are already heading up the hill. Oh, it's Roman De Angelis. I paused for a moment there because I didn't think it could be Roman because he'd been so far up the field. Oh, another disaster for one of the championship contenders in the Gold Cup category. The Mark Motors Porsche has come to a halt. Well, that must have been a developing problem because he was already down the order, started in a very creditable 8th position, right amongst the platinum class cars. But what a shame. And that's going to bring out a full course caution. Well, clearly the fastest man of the year in the gold category, but the reliability has not been there. Too many non-finishes for Roman De Angelis, and Jake Edson's lead will disappear. His hard-fought lead has evaporated as the safety car is back out on the circuit. Absolutely no choice for the race director, with Roman De Angelis' car dead stick just over the top of the rise in front of the Earnhardt Terrace. Kelly Moss rode and raced then, the first car in behind the safety vehicle. Now let's see, this is the start of the race. There's the green and yellow car. There's Landi going off. Now, Landi gets pushed off, and there's Roman De Angelis going through. That's what confused me when we saw that car slowing down. I thought he must have been further up the field. Bit of rough and tumble at the third corner. Now, here is Will Hardiman locking up the Yokohamas at the front. Did not hit the wall, but he's going to have a nasty flat spot on at least that front right. But the good news for him is the safety car has packed the field back up again, so he at least will be on the back of the pack. And with the extra power of the Platinum class car, the Gen 2 car for 2017, he should be able to make some progress through the field and towards the back of the Platinum class runners themselves. Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Corey Fergus, second in the championship, second in the race. Well, it's not a gearbox issue because Roman De Angelis' car is rolling, albeit with a little help from one of the safety trucks. There are a couple of places that car can be pulled to around the track, so we may not have a long yellow here, not lose too much race time. Everybody just taking a deep breath. Good pass by Sebastian Landi to get back up into the top 6 ahead of Andrew Long a little while ago. And he's pretty good on the restarts as well. Don't think he'll put himself on the outside driver's left when they come over the top of the brow at turn 2-3 area. Next restart, do you? After he's pushed onto the grass the first time around, onto the dirt at least. No pit stops scheduled here. Think that is the hand in the air on the starter stand that says one more lap. Yes, it is. And Hardiman has managed to pack up onto the back. So now Trenton, Sept and the rest of the drivers have to get themselves back into race mode. Jake Edson leading, and he will have control of the field as they come out of the final hairpin corner. Imperato, 4th position. Just lost that 3rd position to the car in front, that black and gold number 3. 63, McKay Snow. And then the dark brown and dark red Photo Coffee Porsche in 6th place. Deep breath, fellas. Safety car lights are out. This is turn 7. Where did Hardiman rejoin? Is that him right at the back? I think it is. Just flashing his lights there to let the gold category runners know that they've got a platinum car behind them. Now, they are battling for position on track, but of course not for championship points there, because they are in different championships. Jake Edson just dropping a little bit back from the safety car. We'll be back. Jake Edson who leads them into the hairpin. The safety car is in the pit lane. The green flag is in the air. With 35 minutes to go, we're back to racing in round 14 of the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup USA by Yokohama. And Jake Edson once again has got a cracking restart. Edson, Imperato, Trenton, Sept. As they go through. Corey Fergus in 2nd place, my apologies. Imperato in 4th position. As I was scanning down the timing screen. Imperato under pressure from the red and white car of McKay Snow, and just behind that Sebastian Landi. Top 6 still pretty much together, but it's a carbon copy of what we saw at the original start of the race. Jake Edson is mighty on these opening laps and has already pulled out a couple of 3 cars lead. McKay Snow, the man most likely at turn 7 there, but didn't get it done. Victor Gomez in the green and red car, having a look down the inside there, further back down the field. That's David Baker with Victor Gomez behind him. That's 9th overall. And Victor Gomez then, the gold class leader, with the demise of Roman De Angelis' Mark Motors racing car, which brought out the full course caution. Here's Landy down the inside. My, he's good on the brakes today, but he's not good enough. And he's hit Imperato, and he's turned him around. Is there damage to the left front of the Photo Coffee car? I think he's got away with it. Imperato will be fuming there. It was so close to a great overtaking manoeuvre from Sebastian Landy, but close isn't good enough. And oh, Imperato's car must have had damage, and he slammed into the wall just before the start-finish line. Full course yellow will come out. Oh, Anthony, are you all right? He's got the door open. That's a good sign. Heavy damage to the right front. Must have been suspension damage on the left rear, I'm guessing, that pitched the car into the wall after that collision at the hairpin. Never a good day when parts of your car are doing different lap times. Well, the wheel got a lap time, the rest of the car didn't. And I wonder then if... Oh! And McKay Snow with damage as well. So how was McKay involved, or has he just picked up someone else's... No, that looks... I thought he might have picked up someone else's bodywork. That looks like debris, or perhaps the wheel arch liner. Right, let's have a look. It was a... Ah, yeah, it was a failure there. So Imperato goes off on his own. That's a heavy impact right at a flag marshal zone. Let's hope that the volunteer is all right, because that was straight in. In fact, it was our camera stand, was it? Yes. Look at the marshals ducking for cover there. Well done. And thank you to all of our volunteers. Fortunately, our camera is one of the robo-cams. Just see it on the post behind the yellow and red fluid on the track flag there that's been held up. Well, I don't understand how McKay Snow got his damage there, because he was nowhere near that. But that surely all stemmed from the overtaking manoeuvre down into the hairpin with Sebastian Landy. And here that is, goes to, he must have tagged McKay, did he? As they came through, yes, there's just the slightest of touches as McKay could not get up the inside. That's where the left front damage on the 63 car came from. So close to being a perfect manoeuvre down the inside of McKay Snow. That part was done, but Sebastian Landy couldn't complete a double overtake, and Imperato with broken suspension, you can see there on the left rear, that didn't hit the wall, but the suspension damaged from the initial impact from Landy's car. Landy might get a penalty for that. I'll keep an eye on whether he calls to the pit lane. Unfortunate incident, particularly at this late stage of the season. Couple of races to go at the Petit Le Mans rounds. Road Atlanta in early October. Season finale, always a cracker at that circuit. Well, we haven't really got this 14th round into any kind of rhythm, being broken up by a couple of interventions by the safety car. Not that Jake Edson will be worrying about that too much. Still, the clear-up goes on the start-finish line. Looks, yes, Imperato's car on the back of the rollback, the flatbed. Beautiful weather, great surroundings, and still plenty of racing to go. We'll be back to green shortly here at Sonoma with the Porsches. John Hindhaugh from IMSA Radio in the broadcast booth. as we're in a full course yellow situation caused by Anthony Imperato going heavily into the wall after contact at the final hairpin with the 49 of Sebastian Landi. Look back through the field there, you can see the brown and dark red car weaving around just to the left of our picture. There he is, popping out a line. It was the battle at the sharp end of the field. Landi had just overtaken McKay Snow for 5th position, but couldn't get the car stopped. Hit Imperato. Imperato's rear suspension broken, pitching him into the wall as he tried to accelerate away across the start-finish line. None of this bothering Jake Edson, of course. That's all happening behind him. He has not been headed from pole position, which he captured by a scant 9,000ths of a second. Extraordinary stuff in qualifying earlier on this weekend. Well, still half of the race to go, a little under 20 minutes by the time we come back to green flag. The safety car has pulled into the pit lane. Almost looked like Jake Edson was going to do the same there as he cuts across to get the best exit from this final hairpin corner. Gets the power down, and again a perfect restart. Absolutely copybook. And that has left the battle behind for 2nd position. Corey Fergus in the white and red Merspeed car, Trenton Estep. And then Andrew Long there coming through in 4th position. 45 is Charlie Look, the man from Richmond, Virginia, in that green and multicoloured car. 23, Fred Keimer, leading the Gold Cup category. And one of his major competitors, Roman De Angelis, already out as Fergus still battles Estep through the carousel. Great place to spectate there. You're looking down on the cars, you can really see them working. Now, up to the end of the drag strip, turn 7, Edson. Is this going to be a double winning weekend for Jake Edson? Wins this, he would confirm the championship, subject to all technical checks. Now this is Victor Gomez in the green and orange car being passed by Will Hardiman. Will Hardiman had a mistake there earlier on under braking, went all the way to the back of the field and now fighting his way back through the gold category cars. Now that puts him onto the back of David Baker. Oh, somebody going in the pit lane there. Did I see? Just caught a glance in the background. Keep an eye on that. Now, I wonder if that was Sebastian Landi getting called for a penalty for the contact. Hardiman carves his way past David Baker. And he's back into the top 6 now. It was Sebastian Landi in the Alex Job racing car. Now, he's not stopped at his pit, so it's not for the damage. So that was a drive-through, avoidable contact, I'm hearing from race control. Thought he wouldn't get away with that. Got the first part of the pass done beautifully, but couldn't avoid Imperato. Here comes Victor Gomez, gold class leader, down the inside on David Baker, and that's important for Victor because he puts a very quick platinum class car between himself and the next Gold Cup runner. Meantime, Will Hardiman continues his comeback drive. Well, he's got the braking right there at turn 9A, hasn't he? 9 and 9A, that little chicane. That's where he put it off earlier on when he locked up the front Yokohamas, but that was brilliant as he makes up another position. He's not out of a chance of a podium yet, you know. There's the top 3 going across the line. Again, Edson has just carved himself a little lead out, and he's managing that. Battle for second, Fergus in the red and white Mo Speed car, or maroon and white Mo Speed car. Kelly Moss Road and Race leading from More Speed, from JDX. Three of the big teams in this championship. Then a little further back, it's the blue car of Andrew Long from Wright Motorsports, another one of the super teams that run multiple entries here. And then it's Will Hardiman fighting back through. Second of the Motor Speed cars. And there's Hardiman there, and he's gaining on that blue car all the way to the edge of the drag strip, kicking up a little bit of Sonoma dust. It's not beyond the bounds of possibility, is it, that he could get back on terms if he's got tyres left. And he hasn't done too much damage when he spun off earlier in the race. Still more than 15 minutes to go here in Sonoma. Across the line then, the three leaders are still together. Well, together-ish. Jake Edson has a reasonable 1.1 second lead, and he seems to be managing that very nicely. It's a bit tighter. He's been the dominant force this year. 6 wins so far, 9 pole positions. And this has been another great outing for him. The big story in the Gold Cup category after yesterday's race, Roman De Angelis was leading the Gold Cup. But hearing now from the pit lane that early issue was as yet unexplained power failure on the Mark Motors Porsche. And that has taken him out of any point-scoring position in the gold class this weekend and throws the Gold Cup category wide open. Fred Kamer, Victor Gomez still battling it out. There's Andrew Long coming through in the 47. Will Hardiman on a comeback drive behind him in the darker coloured car. And Landy back into the pit lane. Madison Snow in there as well. Turning the front wheels, so perhaps there was some residual damage on both of those cars. Not been a banner day for Sebastian Landy. What a shame. Real breakout race a couple of events ago up at VIR when he won both races with 2 stunning overtaking manoeuvres. Not his day today. He was looking good, carving his way through with some very impressive overtaking manoeuvres, but just misjudged the braking at the hairpin. And Imperato out, and looks like Snow out as well there in the pit lane. Just mention the Gold Cup category leader, the 32, Mark Nelson, from just down the coast at Tiburon. Knows this track very well and is ahead now of Victor Gomez the 4th by a 1.5 seconds, with the other championship contender, Fred Kamer, in the 23 car in 3rd position. And that is a little bit further down the field. Here comes Hardiman on Andrew Long. Can he make up another position? The Texan, it was right there that he just misjudged his braking. Oh, he's right up the inside. There's a little touch, bump and run there. It's a little bit naughty, just pushing the 47 car, and Andrew Long will not be happy. He'll have a look down the inside here, I'm sure. No, he's not close enough. Hardiman then, from last to 4th overall and in class, after a mistake early. Still 11.5 minutes to go. How much further up the field can he get? The first 3 are not that far ahead, and there's not big gaps between them. First of all, though, he's got to break the resolve of Andrew Long. Just loosened up the back of Andrew's car, coming out at 9N, 9A. Andrew will be slightly disappointed that he was moved gently out of the way. Coming down towards the last 10 minutes. 2 more rounds after this one at Sonoma. And the gold category, very interesting at the moment. More racing coming up from Sonoma. Jake Edson, perfect racing, perfect surroundings as he goes through turn 7. Accelerates down the hill. He might actually think it's a perfect weekend with Paul a win yesterday and possibly en route to the championship. He's not really under pressure at the moment, and that's why he's leading the championship. Not finished lower than 4th this season. Extraordinary run in the 2017 Platinum Championship. Corey Fergus, momentum in the last half-dozen races, with 5 of 6 of those finishing on the podium. And in any other year, you'd think that would put him in with a chance of the championship. But the gap to Edson in this race and in the championship standings, I think just a little too great. Now here's the gold class battle for the lead. Mark Nelson in the black and white car, local man from Tiburon. He was 1.5 seconds ahead of Victor Gomez. Victor's closed that down. Now this is really important. Roman De Angelis won the gold class yesterday. His car grinding to a halt early on, bringing out the first full course yellow. He's not scoring, so he won't hold on to that slender 1-point lead that De Angelis had for Mark Motors. So that green and orange car, and then I think that's Fred Keimer behind him actually. He's a long way further back, not the car right there on the screen. So Fred Keimer and Victor Gomez, 2nd and 3rd at the moment. But Victor would love to get a few extra points by getting past Mark Nelson. 2014 car for Mark. A 16 car for Victor. So either end of the Gold Cup spectrum there. Battle for 2nd heating up again is Trenton Estep. He just doesn't know when to give up, does he? Youngest drivers in the IMSA paddock. Has put a really good run together, just perhaps lacked that consistency, but I think we can forgive him that for his relatively young age. Hasn't managed to crack the top 2 in the last 5 races, but a good run to the podium. (16 years old, Trenton Estep. Now, oh, spin! I was just about to say, decent little battle going on here. As Alan Metney in the iFly, the 99 car, goes around. Fortunately, didn't catch any of the rest of the guys behind him. That's Frank Razzo, 5th in the gold category, 10th overall. Behind him, oh, hang on a second. Before I get to that, though, that's Charlie Look with damage. Charlie Look, is that a tyre rubbing on the rear guard? It is. Oh, and you can just see there's been a tiny bit of rubbing there, and it's now pressing onto the Yokohama tyre. That might not make it to the end of the race. The battle continues, even though we're into the closing stages here at Sonoma. Now, that's the 23 car, just losing a position to Mark Kavame. So Fred Keimer goes down a spot, and Mark Kavame, now that's significant for Mark actually, because he's in the battle for the championship in Platinum Masters. Charlie Look still with the rubbing Yokohama. In behind him, Frank Razzo. And Razzo under pressure now as well. 42 is Bill Smith, another Texan resident who gets round the inside. Razzo just goes a tiny little bit wide. And Bill Smith, good to see him back after a big accident that wasn't his fault at Road America. Got caught up in Alan Mentney. Alan Mentney's accident coming down through the kink. Good to see him back and racing. Sept still pressuring for second position. In third at the moment. Jake Edson is gone with 5.5 minutes to go. But hopefully has looked after his tyres. Relatively long races here for the Yokohamas. They provide very durable tyres, but there is a choice for the teams to set them up to be quick, set the cars up to be quick when they are full of fuel and on new tyres at the start of the race, or when the cars are lighter but running on used rubber at the end, towards the end of the 45-minute contest. And you can make up significant time. Take the pain in the early part of the race. I wonder if that's what JDX Racing have done with Trent and Sept. Having said that, the teenager has been pressuring all the time. Certainly for the last 10 or 15 minutes, hasn't it? He's been right in the wheel tracks of the most-speed car ahead of him. Corey Fergus, Columbus, Ohio, has done a good job, actually, because he's really never been able to just settle down and try and chase down Jake Edson. Has not been headed today. Barely been headed at the weekend. In fact, the closest anybody's got to him was in that qualifying session, and that was Corey Fergus. 9/1000ths of a second decided pole. Just doing some quick arithmetic, by the way, in the Platinum Masters. David Baker still leading that from Kavame. And they look like they'll come home 1-2 here. That's going to set up an interesting finale at Road Atlanta for the final 2 rounds. As it stands at the moment, that would be a 20-point gap in the favour of David Baker in the Platinum Masters for drivers with a little more life experience. Gold Cup, well, at the top of that, DeAngelis' retirement with that mystery loss of power. Well, that's thrown that wide open. Heading towards his second win of the weekend, 7th for the season, and to unofficially at least become the 2017 Series champion. Second position though in the championship, and indeed in this race, still up for grabs. And the 2 drivers battling on track here are battling in the championship standings too. Corey Fergus on a great run of podium finishes. In second at the moment, Alan Mentney in the 99 car. Had a spin earlier on, has recovered. Frank Razzo there in the purple and yellow car. Rhubarb and custard. Charlie Luck just ahead of him in the green and red. Frank Razzo with the Mosing Motorcars sponsorship. No Jeff Mosing this weekend. Jeff suffering from an injury that he sustained earlier in the season. Had already taken him out of some of his other driving obligations as well. He was in with a chance of one of the other IMSA championships in his Porsche Cayman. But the doctors have advised him not to do any more racing this year. He's taken their advice, so he's out for the rest of the year. Jeff, we miss you on the track and wish you all the best for a speedy recovery. motor car sponsored machine. Maybe losing a position here, trying to go around the outside. Oh, a little mistake hitting the curb there for Charlie Lugg. So Razzo gets that position back. Had lost it a wee bit earlier on. Charlie Lugg got it back, and then as they were side by side into turn 7, looked to me as though the green and red car just clipped the inside curb. Very lucky not to cannon into the side of that pristine custard and rhubarb coloured car. Well, coming down towards the white flag, Jake Edson. What a weekend for Jake. Littleton, Colorado, and the Kelly Moss Road and Race team. That second place battle still on there. Will Hardiman in 4th position has not been able to close down. They've been battling Fergus and Edson, but they have still been putting in decent lap times. And there they are. Jake Edson has, I think, just been pacing himself in this last part of the race. Comes round. Time ticking down. And the white flag is out. Just over 2¼ miles then stand between Jake Edson and unofficially the championship. 2 more races to go at Road Atlanta, but mathematically he would be out of reach of Corey Fergus and Trenton Estep. Currently battling behind him, those two. He's been out of reach of those two all weekend. Onto the infield section. Down towards the carousel for his final lap. What a great feeling. Just got to keep it together. Whereas 2nd and 3rd, there they are coming on the drag strip, and it's still Fergus holding on. He's had no peace at all. He's sick of the sight of that car in his mirrors. And indeed, Trenton Estep will know every single scratch, dent and decal on the back of the Mo-Speed car. Just the hairpin and the run to the flag now for Jake Edson. Magnificent season. 9 pole positions, more podium finishes than anyone else, and now 7 wins in the 2017 IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. Edson takes it at Sonoma, coming through a couple of seconds behind. Corey Fergus holds off Trenton Estep in what has been a race-long battle. What a run, what a weekend, what a championship. Jake Edson on top of the world at Sonoma.
I am the trusty co-pilot. The moving part that moves all 2,000 parts. I am the translator who interprets the road, the permission to take the scenic route, and the guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama.
Experience the best of sports car racing with the new IMSA Mobile App, featuring the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge, and other IMSA-sanctioned series. The all-new app comes to life during race weekends with live streaming, timing, and scoring, in-car video, and IMSA radio, so you can watch how you want. Catch the latest news on your favorite teams or drivers, watch the latest videos, catch up on past races, even customize your experience with your favorite manufacturer. The new IMSA app, available in the App Store today.
Beautiful weekend for weather and a great one for Jake Edson. Pole, fastest lap, and 2 race victories for the Kelly Moss Road and Race driver. And with that, it's mathematically now impossible for anyone to catch him. He takes round 14 as he took round 13 ahead of Corey Ferguson, Trent Nestor, who had a race-long battle. Good run back from Will Hardiman, who was last early on. Mark Nelson takes gold ahead of Victor Gomez, and that's significant because no Roman De Angelis. Let's head down to the pit lane and hear from the man who's owned this weekend.
Yeah, I'm over the moon right now, especially for the Kelly Moss team. They work so hard year-round, and not that many people realize what goes on behind the curtain to make all this work, but, you know, huge props to them. And, yeah, I'm just really, really happy for getting this result for myself, but also, most importantly, the team.
The battle in Platinum as we head to Road Atlanta for the final 2 races is between Corey Ferguson and Trent Nestor for second in the Class Championship. Sebastian Landi looking fairly secure in 4th position ahead of Will Hardiman and Anthony Imperato. Fred Keimer goes back to the top of Gold Club after Roman De Angelis failed to finish. Just 8 points between the top 3. Our race winner, Mark Nelson.
I'm feeling pretty good, actually. Home race, not bad for going out with a lot of these young guys who are immensely talented. It's home track for me, so I got a little advantage here. But I'm ecstatic. I mean, I had so much fun driving with these guys. I mean, it pushed me beyond my limits of what I've had to do before. So this is a new experience. I loved it.
So we're packing up and get ready to put the trucks on the roads ahead to Road Atlanta, part of the Petit Le Mans weekend. Round 17 and 18 will be the grand finale of the 2017 IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup USA by Yokohama. On behalf of our hard-working production team, I say thank you for watching. I'm John Hindhaugh from IMSA Radio. Still the Gold Cup Championship to be resolved at Road Atlanta and 2nd place in the overall. Join us for more Porsche action from Georgia. Bye-bye.